So we are live now. Hello everyone, my name is Raja Ben Ali. I'm a software engineer and a member of the E-mma organization. On behalf of the team, I would like to welcome you to this new Code at Home session. You will be learning how to code by creating a game, and the programming language we will be using is Python. So with me, I have several members of the association who are also software engineers, and they'll be teaching you how to code. We'll be guiding you through all the steps, so don't hesitate to tell us if you have any issue with your code or if you want us to explain to you something once more. If you can directly post your comments on the chat and we'll make sure to answer you. And at the end of this session, you will all get an individual success certificate with your name on it. So let's go back to the game that we will be coding. The game is called The Price is Right. It's originally a game show about finding the exact price of several items. For today, the rules are a bit different, as the goal will be to guess a number between 0 and 100. This number is randomly chosen by your computer. So we are going to code a digital version of this game. By the end of this session, you will all learn to code loops, to use conditions, and the overall functioning of a game. So let's get started. I'll post the link of the platform we will use to code. We'll put our code on the YouTube chat. Please click on the link and tell us if everything is working for you, if it's working for you. After you open this link, there will be a pop-up that's saying to agree and proceed. Please click on the agree and proceed button to have the page. Please tell us in the chat if the link is working for you, if you opened it and did those steps.
Please, we request all the students to open the link which we posted on the YouTube chat. Can you click on this link? After you click on this link, you will be having a pop-up button on which you need to agree. And once you agree, you will be having access to the page in order to code with us. So please, all the students connected to this live, just click on the link, on the YouTube link we have posted in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, I see that it's working for everyone. So you have this code, you have this page. The page that is shown on the screen is what you should be having on your screen. So the first thing we're gonna do is delete the 3 lines that are written on the cell on the left. So please select everything and delete it. So let me explain what this platform is about. On the left, you have the files, the Python files with your code. This is where we'll be putting all our code. And then on the right, we have the display of our code. So this is where you will be testing your game and checking if everything is working for you. And to run the code and have the display, you need to click on the Run button at the top, like shown on the screen, the blue Run button. Okay, so this is it for the platform. What you need to do is click on the button, not on the, okay. There's the Run button. There's another one with the moon. You need to click on the button at the left. So you will have a full screen. You will have the platform on a full screen. Okay. So we'll be starting now the coding session. So Antoine is the one sharing his screen. He will write the code that I'm gonna tell him, and everyone in this call with me will explain to him what is the code about, and then everyone, all the students on this live, need to write the same thing so we can all code this game together.
you,
So
Raja.
I'm gonna explain. Yeah,
Sorry, just I interrupt here.
yeah.
I'm looking at the chat just to make sure that everyone understood. I hope
Mm-hmm.
you all opened the link we shared in the chat. If not, Machis and Hugo will post again the link, and you need to open the link as Raja mentioned, and please delete the 3 lines of code which are appearing on the screen, which once you open the link. And now Raja and Antoine are going to code in front of you. Please code with us. So all the students are going to code with us now, okay? It's you also need to look at the live, but you also need to code with us. So let's start coding together, children. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm gonna explain a first concept in programming. So in coding, we have a concept called function. A function is a keyword that will be put in our code and it will do a task for us. Sometimes those functions are stored inside something called libraries. So each library contains a lot of keywords that each can do a task for us. And remember that we need our computer to choose randomly a number between 0 and 100. This is how the game works. So the computer need to choose a number between 0 and 100. This is a task that we can let a function from a library do for us. So for this task, we will use a library called random. And inside the library, we'll use the function called randint. So Antoine will write the first line. So please click on the left cell to put your code on the main.py file. So write from, the keyword from, space, random, space, import, randint, randint. It's randint, but everything is in one word. So this line from random import randint help us use the function randint. This function is it can generate a random number for us. So now we can use it as we have this line, we can use it. So please, Antoine, go to the next line, and everyone with me go to the next line to have the next code. So the next programming concept we are going to use is variables. A variable is like a little box that keeps something inside it for us. So each box has its own name that we name it. So for this example, for an example is a variable that contains a number, and whenever we want to use that number, we put the name of this variable in our code. So just one moment. Please tell me in the chat if you understood the first line of code, if you all have it. Please write the first line of code to import the library and the function, and then we can proceed. So some people are saying that it's okay, and others are saying they don't know which line. So the first line of code that we put is from random import randint. Please put this line on your code. Okay, they're saying that they understood. Not able to open. Okay, so while you're coding, please look at the live, and you need to have the same code as us. Okay, it's working. We can then go to the variables. So the first variable we're gonna use in our game is called price. So to have this variable, we need to type price, the keyword price. This is the name we're given to this variable. space, equal sign. So now we have a variable called price, which is a box, and we need to give it a value. And the value that we want to give it is a random number that our computer chose for us. So remember that we have the function runInt to do the task for us. So Antoine, put a space after the equal sign and then put the name of the function, runInt. So to be able to call this function, it needs an interval to know from where, between which number and which number it needs to choose a specific number, a randomly number. So our interval is 0 and 100. And to make sure that our runInt will give us this specific interval, we're going to put parentheses at the end of the line after runInt. Please put parentheses, an open one and a closing one, and then inside the parentheses you put 0, comma, then 100. Please tell me in the chat if you have this line now and if you need, or if you need me to explain it once more. So just to repeat, we need a variable that will store a randomly chosen number by the computer. And for that, we use the function runInt. And for the number needs to be between 0 and 100. So we put inside the parentheses 0, 100. Someone asked if they need to write everything we have on the screen. Yes. Since we are all coding this game together, you need to have the same code so that everything will work on your side too. Okay, they're saying it's all good, all clear. Okay, done. Perfect. Then we can go on to the next variable that we need to define. And this variable will contain the number, the price guess that the player will give us each time he tries to guess the right price. So to define this variable will be called user. This is the name we choose for it. So please type user at the next line. So user space equal space -1. So we have the price variable and we have the user variable. The user variable is equal to -1. And we chose -1 to say that the user hasn't started any price guess yet. He didn't put any guess yet. So as -1 is not in the interval 0, 100. This is to help us know that the user didn't guess yet. So please tell me in the chat if you have the function import, the price variable, and the user variable. Okay. Okay. So please make sure to have the same code as on the screen. Please tell me if you have everything right on the chat. Okay. I think we can. Okay. I think we can move on to the next one. I will give the floor to Manuela, who will teach us how to create loops and how we can retrieve the price guess of the user. Manuela, you can take over.
All right. Now we will go to the next line. By pressing the enter button on our keyboard. Again, the next line. We will tap while. Okay. While here is a loop that we can create to iterate to a function. So while is a loop that restarts over and over a block of code until the condition is met. So let's write while price, our variable, exclamation mark, user, equal, user. We can see that something is odd. Why did we put the exclamation mark and equal? Simply because it means different from. So when we read it, we have something like while price is different from user. So while our price, which is a random integer, is different from user, now we will put colon and we will go to the next line. Now we will go to, by using the button, so we already did that. We will write user equal to int. So we will write the user variable again, equal int, and the parentheses, input. We will write input, which is a function, and we will explain later what we put that here. We will open a parenthesis again, open the quotation mark, and write the following sentence. Please enter a value between 0 and 100. A value between 0 and 100. And at the end of the line, we will add semicolon. At the end of the line, we will add a semicolon. Okay, let's see what we just did. We wrote user equal int, open parenthesis, and input. Why did we use that? Input is a function that allows the user to enter anything. So we put int in front of the input function to be precise that the value that will be entered by the user is an integer. So here our input function set the user variable to what the user will enter. So we will go to the next line again. And that's it for my part.
Thank you, Manuela. So let me resume what our game does so far. So first, the computer chooses a random number between 0 and 100. Then the loop starts, and the loop continues until the user guesses the price. And at each time, the code will ask the user to put a number between 0 and 100. So it asks the user to make a guess. And if the user guesses the right price, then it's gonna end the loop. But for now, we don't have a lot of details. Our game is not complete. So we're gonna have Pierre explain to us how we can help the player know when he's close to to the guessing when the number he guessed is closer to the price that our computer chose or not. So Pierre, you can continue.
Yes, thank you. This part is a price is right game system. If the price is inferior, or if it's bigger, or if the price is right, we're gonna say it in the shell on the right on the screen. For begin, we're gonna use the if function. Type if user is a smaller symbol than price. And to end this condition, we need a colon. Go on the next line, and we're gonna use the function print. Print function is used for print a character on the shell on the right on the screen. Open parentheses, double quote. It's more. I explain this part. If user is smaller than price, we're gonna print it's more, and the user enter a big number. We're gonna use elif if the user price is bigger than the real price. Go on the next line and type elif. Well, yes, delete it and go back on the good tabulation. Elif is a keyword function. If condition isn't validate, we go on the next condition, the elif condition, space, and we're gonna type user bigger than price. We end with colon and go back on the next line. We're gonna use a print function. Open parentheses, double quote, it's less. We have two conditions: if the price is smaller and if the price is bigger. And if the price is right, the objective of the game, we're gonna use the else condition. Go back on the next line and type else with the same tabulation. Else is the same than elif. The difference is elif take a conditions or else not. In this case, else is used only if the if and the elif condition isn't validated. We go back on the next line and we print the price is right. Print, open parentheses, double quote, the price is right. Yeah, that's it. We have the part of the system of the game. We can try it on the shell.
Pierre, can you explain one more time?
Yeah,
Everyone
okay.
on the
For start, we use if condition. It uses if the price the user give is smaller than the real price. We're gonna say it's more to invite the user to give another number. Elif is is usually usage when if function is invalidate. For example, if the if is invalidate, we're gonna use elif. If the price the user give is bigger than the real price, and we're gonna print it's less. And else condition is used only if the if condition and the elif condition is invalidate. If the price isn't big and either small, we're gonna say the price is right, and that is the end of the game.
Uh,
And
Maybe
yeah,
Pierre, excuse me. So maybe could you explain, Raja, what is Elif? Because we have a lot of children asking if Elif is what is it actually? Yeah.
So we have the if statement that you can put a condition with it. So our condition here is user smaller than the price, and we have else without a condition. But elif, it's like a succession. It's like a succession of if statements, but you are able to put a condition with it. So here we have if the user is smaller than the price, you do something. Else if, which is elif, user bigger than the price. Else, it's when none of these conditions are true, then the user guessed. So you will have the print, the price is right. So elif is like if, but it's after an if. So you always start with if and then elif, and you can put as much elifs as you want, but at the end you need to have an else. I don't know if that was clear, Dipti, or you want to add something. Everyone, did you get it? What is elif? Elif is short for else. So it's like if this is true, else if this is true, else if this is true. But in Python, everything is in one keyword, elif. Okay. Just Antoine, can you please zoom in a little bit? I think some people can't see properly. Can you zoom in just a little bit so that they can see the code? Please, everyone, you need to have the same code as on the screen. Final message image. Okay. So just to remind you what Pierre just explained, since the game, it asks the user to guess the price, we need to give the user the hint to tell him if he's closer to the number or not. So if the randomly chosen number is, for example, 5, and he puts 10, it's going to tell him that the number is less, the price is less. So to reduce the number that he gave, it will tell him to increase or reduce the number that he guessed to match the price. And when he guesses, then we'll have on the screen print the price is right since he guessed. So he guessed the right price. Please tell me in the chat if you can continue, if you got this part, or if you need us to explain one more time the if statements. Should we continue? Okay, they got it. They got it. If you have any question, please ask on the chat, and the members that take care of the chat will answer your questions. So we now have the if conditions, and yeah, we now have the if conditions. Thank you, Pierre and Manuela, for your explanations. We have our game, but let's test it first. Please test it. Antoine, you can click on the run button, and then on the right, you will have the display of the game. Please, everyone, click on the run button, the blue button at the top, to test the game. And tell us if you have the sentence, enter a value between 0 and 100, 2 points, written on the right. So someone said they have no questions. It's clear. Line number 6 has an error. Please make sure to have the same thing as on the screen. So let me just tell you what's on line 6. You have user equal with the equal sign, then int parentheses input open parentheses, and inside of it you have a string, you have a sentence, and around it you have double quotes. So make sure to have the opening and the closing double quotes, please. If something is not on this line, your code will not run. It will throw an error. Please make sure to have the same line for the person who has a problem with this line. Line 5 showing error. So several people are saying they have an error. Can you zoom in more on the code, please, Antoine? Can you zoom in a little bit? So someone said that they entered 3. They tested the game and they said that when they enter 3, it's telling them that the number is it's more. So this means that you need to you're closer to the number, the price, but you need to increase your number because the price is bigger. So should we test the game, everyone? You click on the run button. Please, if you have an error with your line, put the line, copy paste the line on the chat so that we will know what you have on your code and we can help you, we can fix it. Please tell us exactly what you put on your line so we can correct it. The people on the chat will take care of that. So we can continue with the run button. Antoine, let's test the game.
Wait a minute, I have lose the shell. I will restart the window.
Okay, okay. So
make sure to copy all the code before.
Yeah. if
Yes,
you
it
still
was
have
good.
access to the code,
Yeah,
do
just
Control A.
yeah.
Control A. Yeah, and then you can have the so. So people on the chat, please answer the errors. So this is our game. The computer chose for us randomly a number between 0 and 100. It's the price of something, and now we want to guess. The first thing we put was the number 1. It's as we like, and it's telling us that the number is too small, the price is more. So now we're gonna put 99. No. Yeah, let's start. Put 50. When we put 50, it's telling us that it's less, which means that 1 is too small, but 50 is too big. The price is between 50. So maybe put 25. No. Oh, okay. I think there's an issue with the conditions. Just one moment. It's not the right conditions. So people on the chat, please keep telling us if the game is running for you or not. So just for the conditions.
Can you, Antoine, please run again? I just want to see the error.
It crashes.
I guess it's working now.
Okay, we can keep this. Okay, so maybe we can explain again with this. Lipti, should we? Okay, so the computer chose a number for us, and we try to guess it as 50. It's telling us that the price is bigger, it's more. So we put 70. It told us that it's more. Our number is too small and the price is more. So we put 80. It's still too small. So we put 99 and it told us that it's less. So we have the price is between 80 and 99. The prints help us to know if we're closer or further or too far from the price. And after we put 90, it told us that the price is right, which means that we guessed the price and the game ends. So please tell us in the chat if everything is all right for you. At the end of line 6, it's not it's semicolon. Actually, you can remove the semicolon. Maybe you should remove it. It will still run. Did you lose the shell, Antoine? Okay. For those who have a problem with line 6, you can remove the semicolon at the end of the line. It's not necessary. It's not 2 points. It's not, yeah, 2 points. So should we wait a little bit, Dipti, so that everyone has this working?
Yes, so maybe what we could do is check in the chat if everyone is fine and if we can move. So if there is error, please Mathis and Hugo, according to the code which is displayed on the screen, can you make sure that the errors of children are corrected and let them know, ask them to copy the code, the line of the code they put on their from their side, so you can correct if there is an error you see. Thank you.
Please, when you have an error on your line, tell us exactly what you wrote so that we can help you. So someone said it worked. Someone said, what do you do after typing 50 on the shell? So did you run the game? If you run, if you clicked on the run button and then you typed 50, it should tell you if you're closer to the price, if the price is bigger or less than what you guess, what you try to guess. So our guess now is 35 and it's telling us it's more. So we need to put a bigger number because our number is too small. So it's telling us it's more. So 40 is still too small. And we need to put a bigger number. Ah, you see the petits. Please resend the code. What is okay? If you're having the wrong list.
I don't think the problem is the program, but just the website.
Oh, you think it's the website?
Actually, Antoine, it's coming from your side. I think you haven't got enough internet. That's why it's taking some time to load the response.
Yeah. So if you have the message, an error message, please check that your conditions are the same as on the screen. And in case you have something like an error called indentation error, it tells you indentation error. Make sure that all the spaces that we put in our code is the same as yours. That everything looks exactly like on the screen.
Maybe Raja, we can move to the next step. I see that Hugo and Mathis are responding to all the questions we are receiving, and they will continue respond. Maybe we can move.
Okay. So thank you, Pierre, Manuela, and everyone on the chat. We now have our game, but it is too easy because we can guess. We have as many tries as we want. The game does not end as long as we did not guess. So Devin will explain to us how we can make the game more complex. Devin, you can take over.
Yeah, before he explain it, I see
Yeah.
few questions in the chat. I just want to clarify for people who are trying to play the game and after few attempts they're not having any response. It's not because your code is not working. It's just because we are too many on the same website and it's taking some time to load the response. So do not worry, after the coding session when you're going to test it again, it's going to completely work. So there is nothing like an error from your side. Everything is working perfectly.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So Devin, you can continue.
Okay, so hello everyone. So about the bonus, what you want to do now is to count each time your while loop is done, which means each time your loop reach the line 12, which means each time the player tries a new number. To do so, the first thing you want to do is to declare a new variable. To remind you, a variable is like a new empty box inside which we are going to write any value. You are going to write to declare a new variable at the beginning of the program. So just after user is equal to -1. This variable, I'm going to call it count to make it explicit. And I'm going to assign to it the value 0 because we are going to start to count at 0. So I'm going to write count is equal, the symbol equal 0. Nice. Now you have your variable count, which is equal to 0. And let's take a look at the while loop. As it is now, the while loop only ends when the number guessed is right. But you now also want it to end when you try to guess a certain number of times. Let's say, for example, 7. So next to the first condition of your while loop, price is different to user, you are going to write another condition. For example, end, the word end, then count, symbol equal, with the double symbol equal. Sorry, wait. Oh, sorry, the symbol is inferior to 7. So now your while loop is going to keep going while the price is wrong, or while the value inside your variable count is inferior to 7, starting to 0. But now, if you let it just like it is right now, it won't change anything about the game because the value inside your variable count will still be equal to 0. So you want it to increase one by one. What you want to do is at the end of your while loop, so just after the conditions, you are going to add a new line. You're going to add count plus equal to 1. So with this line, each time your while loop is done, the value inside the variable count will increase by 1. So we will start to 0, then it will goes to 1, 2, 3, and so on until it reaches 7. And when it reaches 7, it will restart at the line 6. So check the condition if the price is still different to user, or if the value inside the variable count is still inferior to 7. But when the count will be equal to 7, the while loop will then stops and the game will then end. Now you want to inform the player about the results that after the game. So what you can do is after your while loop, so when it ends, you're going to use the function print. So you write print, then the parentheses, then the double quotes, and inside the double quotes, you're going to write any message you want. For example, I want the computer. I want the computer to send me. Sorry. Before the function print, you're going to add a condition. because the computer won't send you the same message if you won or if you lost the game. So for example, if you won the game, so if price is equal to user, then you will use the function print, the parentheses and this as in double quotes, and you're going to write inside the message, congratulations, you won, or you won. Works as well. And
Just one
then,
moment, Divan. Sorry to interrupt you. Just everyone, what we are doing now is making sure that the player can only play 7 times. If the player didn't guess after 7 tries, he lost. So to do
yes.
that, we changed the condition on the while loop. So make sure you have the same condition as on the screen, exactly the same, so that he can only play 7 times. And make sure to have the count variable defined at the beginning, just after the user equal -1. You put count equals 0. This is to define the count variable. Make sure to have that count variable defined, and then add update the condition on the while loop. And at the end of the while loop, you make sure to put count plus equal sign 1, like on the screen. So, sorry, Antoine, can you zoom in a little bit? Can you still zoom in? Oh, we can't see properly with that. Okay. So yeah, make sure to have the changes that we just made so that the player can only play 7 times. And after, at the end of the code, now what we are putting is 2 conditions to tell the user if he won or lost. So here, Divan just explained to us the first condition to tell the user if he won by putting if price equal sign, 2 times the equal sign, user, 2 points at the end, column. And then you go to the next line and you put print, you won. And please make sure to have the same syntax as on the screen and the same spaces between each line, but also make sure to have the same space at the beginning of the line. If the space is not the same, if the spacing is not the same, your code will not run. It's gonna put an indentation error, which is what some of you had previously. So please make sure you have the same code, the same indentation. And in case you have an error, please give us your line and what error you have. Okay, Divan, you can explain the second condition to tell the user that he lost.
So about the second condition, it's just like inside our while loop. So just after our if condition, you're going to write elif. And then after elif, you are going to write elif count is equal or superior to 7. And just after this line, you write print and then the message you lost. So with those 2 conditions, what we are doing is when the game ends, it's going then to check if we guessed the right price or if we didn't guess the right price first. So that's the meaning of the first condition. If you guess the right price, then the game will print the message you won and ends the program and ends the game. But if you guessed wrong, then the first condition if will be wrong, and then it will print the second condition because our count variable is now equal or superior to 7, and then print you lost. And that's it for the bonus. Thank you.
Thank you, Divin. I think we can now try our game. Please, everyone, before trying the game, please tell us, everyone, if you have all the lines that we just added and the two conditions, especially the two conditions at the end, to have the right displays. Tell us in the chat if we can go on with the testing of the game or if we need to explain something once more. The two conditions should not be inside the loop. Someone was asking that. So the two conditions starting from line 16 to 19, this code need to be at the end of the file and not with after the count plus equal 1. So you need to make sure that the indentation are the same. So some people are saying it's working. Okay. Done it. Please tell us exactly your issue. Please explain again. So let me just do an overview of everything we have on our screen. The first thing we did was import the randint function to be able to ask our computer to generate a number randomly between 0 and 100, and then put this value inside the variable price. So our price is the number we need to guess. Then we have the user variable, which will contain the number that the price guess that our player makes. Then we have the count variable to help us with the bonus, to know when our player is done or not with this game, the game round. So then you have the while loop, which is the game loop which plays until and gives 7 tries to the player. The loops run 7 times, and if the player guessed before the 7 tries finished, then he won, and he will have the print "you won" with an exclamation point. But if the player didn't make the guess before he lost his 7 tries, then on the screen we will have "you lost." This is how this game works. And those are the steps. Please make sure to include everything that we have on the screen so that we have the same behavior of the code, the same game. So I think we have all the information. We can go on with the testing. So Antoine, please click on the run button, and everyone, after you're done, test your game by clicking on the run button, and then try to guess the price that our computer chose for us. So okay, we are testing. If it takes a little bit of time before answering, you can it's a problem with the connection, so we're trying to test it more. 25, it's less, so we keep guessing. So we guessed the price that our computer chose randomly was 12, and we guessed it on our last try, so we won. Antoine, can you please do another try where you make the player lose? Okay, you see, after 7 tries, we still didn't guess the number, so we lost, and the game ends. This is how we know that we lost or won, and our game ends. And this is very important. It's very important to have the 2 conditions at the end of your code. So please tell us in the chat if you have the same behavior, if you have the same code and the same game. Someone is saying it's working fine.
Maybe can you zoom a little bit, Antoine, on your screen? Thank you.
Yeah, if he zoom in, we can see the whole code. That's the issue. Maybe, yeah. Maybe if you can make the shell screen smaller. Can you? Is it possible, Antoine?
I can't.
You can't? Oh, okay. Someone said they understood. It's working perfectly. We zoomed on the beginning of the code. For those of you who wanted it to be zoomed, you can look at the start of the code to make sure that you have the same thing. Then after a moment, we will scroll down. Please make sure that you have exactly the same thing with the same spaces so that you won't have the errors, the indentation error. Okay. Okay. I think maybe it's good. It has an error. Okay. Antoine, you can scroll down a little bit. Maybe stay on the whole while loop. If you can have the while loop, yeah, like that. Please, everyone, check that your while loop is exactly this on the screen. Someone asked if after putting a number, they need to press enter. Yes. When you try to guess the number, you put the number you think the price is, and then you click on enter. It's working. Perfect. Okay. I think you can scroll a little bit more, Antoine, to have the last 2 conditions. We're just gonna wait a little bit until you see if everything is all right on your side. If you have the same code. If there's a slight difference, it will not run. So make sure you check and double check. Okay, done. working. Got the output. It's working perfectly. Okay, our team will continue answering your questions on the chat. If you have any errors, you can tell us. If everything is working on your side, you can also tell us, so we'll know if we can move on. It's perfect, working. Okay.
Yeah, I think Raja, we can move on now. Yes.
Yes. So Antoine, can you put the slide with the certificate? So everyone, we are done with our game. We now have the right game, and you can all get an individual success certificate. So congratulations for your great work. And we will put on the chat the link that you can use to get your certificate. So please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, yes, Raja, maybe we can say to all the students watching us, please click on the link that we are posting on the YouTube live, certificates.emma.in. We have to do it now with you. Please click on this link. You will be getting your certificate. This is super important. Let's do it now. The session is not yet finished, so please click on the link certificates.emma.in. The team has put it in the chat. Please put it again. Please, every students watching this live, click on the link. Click on this link.
Let's all do the certificate together. For the people who still have problem with their code, they can send us their code via email. We're going to explain that at the end, but please, now let's all do the certificate together. Let's all connect. Click on the link to do the certificate together. So everyone, tell us if you have the link open. Okay, someone is saying it's done. Okay, so we are showing on the screen the link opened. So you need 3 information to get your certificate. You need to put your first name, your last name, and then the workshop code that we shared on the YouTube live.
So maybe
yeah.
for those who are asking to get this the code, as I can see in the chat, the code number is INPR704. But please check the YouTube chat because we have posted the code already. Please click on the link of certificate, copy the code, and don't forget, as Antoine is doing, to put your first name and last name. And now Antoine will click on the submit button. But again, the code is INPR704.
Yes, we'll continue putting the link. So after you click on submit, you get your certificate. Antoine, can you scroll up a little bit to the beginning? Please, everyone, share your feedback with us by filling a form, a small form. Click on send feedback so we can see how you did on this workshop. Tell us if you liked something, if you didn't like something, so we can improve in the following sessions. It will only take a few minutes, no more than 2 minutes. It's really quick, and you can tell us your feedback.
Yeah, thank you, Haja, for that. So, just maybe I see in the chat people are still putting the code of the certificate. So, once you have put the code of the certificate and your first name and last name, and you have clicked on the submit button, this is what you're gonna see on the screen. What Antoine is sharing, this is what you should have on your screen as well. So, as you can see on the top, you have the social networks of E-mma. As you can see, we have put our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Please, all the students watching this live, please share with us your pictures while coding or holding the certificate or coding in the classroom with your colleagues, with other students, with your teachers. Please ask your teachers, principal to share with us, Also, the pictures you can share directly on the social network while tagging us and putting the hashtag code at home. But also through email, we will be putting our email address in few minutes. But as Raja mentioned just now, you have the send feedback button. This button is very important for us because we need to improve our coding session. And if you give us the feedback on about what you think about this coding session, what you need us to improve, or what you liked or what you didn't like, so this will help us. And Raja just said it's just going to take 2 minutes, not more than 2 minutes. Please take 2 minutes to give the feedback, because the next session will be better according to your feedback, according to your expectation. And as you can see, Antoine is sharing on the screen, you have the certificate which is displayed on the screen. So personalized with your name, first name and last name. And all you need to know is click on the download my certificate button to have your certificate directly on your laptop. And of course you can print it after and send us pictures of you holding the certificate, which is super important for us, because we need to know if you enjoy the coding session, if you learn new things. This is really really important for all the team. So on behalf of the team, I request you to share feedback, to share the pictures, and also don't forget to download the certificate. And one last important thing I want to highlight is, for the upcoming coding sessions, please subscribe the YouTube channel. Can Antoine share the next slide? Can you please share the next slide? Thank you, Antoine. So look at the screen of Antoine, look at the live. As I was saying, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because you will get all the updates of the next live. Whenever we are going live, you will receive it. So you will be noticed about that. So subscribe to YouTube channel now, please, every students. It's very important, and this will help you to be notified to the upcoming coding session. Another thing I wanted to say is, for the upcoming coding session, you can directly register to the upcoming coding session from the Code at Home app. As you can see on Antoine's screen, you have the Android app and the iOS app, the Apple app, sorry, the Google and the Apple app, which you can directly download from codeathome.app/download. Please don't forget to download the Code at Home app. It's super important to subscribe, and from the app you can directly subscribe to all the upcoming coding session. Also, as Raja was mentioning few minutes ago, if you want to share your photos personally, you can directly contact us on codeathome@emma.org. You can directly email us to codeathome@emma.org. You can directly share your pictures privately, and we can use them, and we can use on our social network, and we can share on our social network if you would like to. We will ask your permission, of course, before, but please share your pictures on codeathome@emma.org. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and visit the Code at Home application to subscribe to the upcoming coding session. Also, if you want to subscribe to the upcoming coding session directly from our website, so you can use the website which is Antoine showing, which is displayed on Antoine's screen. So it's emma.org/code at home, and directly you can subscribe from the website to the upcoming coding session. And finally, the last thing we want to say to you students, please, what I'm gonna say is super important. Every time you subscribe to a coding session, you always receive by email the link to join the connection, to join the live. So please open the email when we send it to you. Please open the email we send it to you, which contains the connection link. It is super important for us, because if a school is registered through a teacher, or through a principal, or any person, any administration person, once you are registered, once we get your email from the school, we send you always an email to confirm you that you are registered, and also to give you the connection link. So students, please open this email every time. Just check your email, because if you check your email, we know that you have the connection link. If we don't if you don't check the email, we can't know this information. So please open our emails, and then you can also communicate with us, and you can also reply to this email, and we will also answer to you. So please open the email we send to you when you are registered to the coding session, and after you are registered, this email will come in your inbox. And in case it's not in your inbox, please check the spam. Sometimes it go in the spam, so it's okay, just go in the spam and look at the email and check the connection link, and please open the email. Thank you, students. Thank you so much for connecting with us today, for following the live. We're so happy to welcome you. And don't forget to subscribe to the upcoming coding session, which is, I think, in just 1 week or two, the upcoming coding session. So we will be looking forward to welcome you. And in the meantime, if there is any question, just write us an email on codeathome@emma.org. So I repeat the email, codeathome@emma.org. And so this coding session was really interesting, and we were very happy to have you. We are happy that you have completed it successfully. Really congratulations for the great work, students, you are doing. Keep it up. You're going to be really experts soon in coding, we hope so. And just keep your great work. You are doing an amazing work, students. Just keep it up. Really, we are really happy to have you on every sessions. It is an opportunity, amazing opportunity for us. Thank you, students. And the live will be closed in few seconds. This slide will be remaining few seconds, so you can have all the information. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you everyone for your participation. We are looking forward to seeing you at the upcoming events. The live will end in a few minutes. Thank you.